कितने लोग आए हैं? Start now.
Yeah, it's all on. We are streaming live.
Okay. I hope everyone is safe in this lockdown time. Welcome one and all on this very interesting topic, that is emerging trends in home fashion styling. The format of the event would be first welcoming the experts, presentation by the experts, second, and third will be question and ask session. I request all the participants to kindly upload their questions, if any, in the QR section of the available on Zoom page. It will be taken up once presentation finished. Finally, our vote of thanks will be given. Home fashion styling is one of the emerging career option today. Textile design course at NIP empowers the individual to be able to work as home fashion stylist. Today, we'll try to understand home fashion styling from the experts invited to share their experiences. Let me introduce the esteemed panel members for today's sessions. Mr. Rajiv Rai, a postgraduate in Master of Design and alumnus of Textile Design, NIFT, New Delhi. Founder of Home for Photography, Rajiv specializes in photography, branding, exhibition, promotion, and catalogs, fashion photography, lifestyle product, and interior photography. Raju has been associated with well-known brands like Raymond's, Bombay Dyeing, Alok Industries, Tea Deco, and many more. Raju's work has been published in leading magazines like Femina, Elle Decor, Society, Interiors. He is based in Mumbai. Moving forward, let me also introduce to you our second guest, Ms. Nidhi Tiwari, who is also alumnus of Textile Design NIFT Bengaluru, graduated in 2009. She is, she is a home fashion stylist, founder of Space.
Sir has already spoken regarding home textile and photography we are planning to do. Let me introduce myself again. I'm qualified as a textile designer and I practice as a photographer. Home textile photography is a very specialized area. Let me start with my presentation and we can chip in information as and where it's required. I guess my screen is visible, Nidhi?
Yes, it is.
Home photography, there are various products which falls under home photography, which is home textile, furniture, floor covering, wall covering, home decor products, home interior, and many more. More are like home appliances and electronic, which we are not including in this webinar because we are keeping it more aesthetic driven subject. Coming to home photography product, we will be talking more about home textiles where I specialize. So let's explore the area where home textile photography is used. What is the purpose of home photography? The first is very important, which is an archival where company, whoever produces the product, they need to capture each and every product so that they can keep the record what they are producing, and then they can go back whenever they need those product, need to reinstall that product or remake that product and all. So basically that's a very physical shot of the product, very physical. There's no aesthetic that much required, as it's only a technical reference of that image. Second comes with the product catalog. Product catalog is where the little aesthetic is required, and product should be completely or clearly visible. Example is like Amazon. When you buy any product on Amazon, you see a product completely in detail in all 4 or 5 views, so that without seeing the actual product, you can buy the product online. So that is about the requirement of product photography there. Then it comes a packaging. Packaging comes when the product is a very complex, like a bed sheet, which is difficult to see from the packet, and every time can't open the packet. So there should be something on the cover which shows the actual product after laying on the bed. The fourth is campaign photography, which is the best or the most favorite for all the photographer, where there is a lot of experimentation happens, a lot of storytelling happens. That's a more eye-catching images is being created on campaign photography. And the last is the editorial and educational requirement, where the ideas need to communicate to the community about the product, about the textiles. So let's go around with some visuals and all. Starting with home textile photography, bed linen is the most common required pictures, because bed linen is a very complicated subject, where if a merchandiser need to sell, they need to display it, and displaying a bed require at least 100 square feet area, which is not possible to display all the beds. So that's the reason very much required area of photography. Here we show different angles of the same bed, in case some elements which is not visible can be visible on the second side. So this way we have different angles of bed linen shots. Regarding the composition, I'll be going more on the technical side of photography, and I guess Nidhi will get into the detail of styling part, the concept part of it. So this will be more enlightening to the photographer, as well as the stylist who can understand photographer's point of view, from where they come, where the problem happens, and what is required. So composition is very important thing, where the subject and the background need to be composed well. Neither the subject should be so big that there's no background, it's floating, or it should not be too small that the background only speaks out. So there should be a nice balance between the foreground and the background. Then we often take some close-up shot, mood shot, because in the left side, if you see, it's difficult to see the texture of the product, and that's the reason we need to have an additional image on the right side, where the texture of the fabric is visible, the mood is visible. Now, moving ahead from home bedding photography or bed sheets, the other product of home textile, which is curtain, which is also a complicated subject to shoot, because these home textile is very complex structure, very diverse and complex product. Because complex because it's a two-dimensional product, and which has a very glossy satin finish to the most matte, which is cut pile carpet, and to these variety, and between there are so many textures, and for each textures there is a specific lighting which is required to captures the detail of the fabric, whether it's a sheen satin or it's a carpet. So a deep understanding of this product is very important. And diverse because there are so many products after the 2D or two-dimensional product, which is fabric has been woven, it has been put on cushion cover, upholstery, curtain. So the form changes from 2D, it becomes 3D, and the light interaction also changes. So it need a very super specialized area. If I have to say about home textile photography specialization in other term, would be like if a photographer is labeled as a doctor, then interior photographer will be labeled as a surgeon, which is who is super specialized. Then the home photographer, home textile photographer, will be labeled as a neurosurgeon, which is a further super specialization of a photography, where because we understand the nerves of home textiles, from fiber to fabrics, from made ups to complete collections. The understanding of the product is like in a holistic way, so that it's very clear while doing a photography what is the hero, what is the element which need to be shot. So it is very clear in photographer's mind, and then it's easy to go ahead with that. So moving on with other images, this is an elaborate shoot of bed linen with other products, and the lighting is a very dramatic here, though there are 5 6 sources of light, but it is not visible that much because they are blending so well in each other. It's difficult to find out, because on the right side there is a light from some source, and from the top and from the lamp there's a like artificial sources which is lit, and which is also captured. then the same setting is being shot in a two different ways, or on a two different composition, because the product changes in between the two of them. In the left side is the bed cover which need to be focused, and the lighting is made in such a way that the bed cover uh, is being seen well. And on the right side, if you see, it's a curtain, and the lighting is more natural. It's like a sunlight peeping through the curtain, and it also shows that it's like a um, light blocking curtain. It's not a sheer, it's a heavy curtain kind of thing. That's why the understanding of lighting and the products is very important in home textile photography. Coming to the next session of home textile product, which is upholstery, which is also a very much required in today's scenario, because the upholstery fabric is only a running meterage fabric, but without showing an image, it is very difficult for people to visualize how the fabric will be after putting on the sofa or the product. Here is one example where the product is very simple. It's like a satin finish, thick fabric, and it's a plain fabric. There is no there is no, it's only there is a only glossy feel is there, but there is no texture, or there is no pattern, or there is no print. But these need to be highlighted how we should do it. So we have divided them into two, three images. On the left side, you see a lifestyle feel of the collection. On the right side, you see two images, one a multicolor cushion, and the swatches, where it's easy to suggest that these many type of fabrics or colors are available in this collection. Again, we have to keep in mind, when there are prints which are complex, it need to be shot against a plain background. That's the reason the sofa is been taken plain, so that the print can be highlighted. On the right side, the play of the focal length is important, so that the focus is completely on the cushion, and the background, which is also a print, is out of the focus. Here also, again, a good example for aperture. Aperture plays a very important role. It's a very complex setup, where there is a dining table, there is a wall, there is a window, but a smart selection of the aperture makes the product as a hero. Otherwise, if it's a complete full depth of field, then it will be difficult to highlight. Though it will be visible, then it will be a very chaos image. So this makes like a product very much on face, on hero, and the rest is left on imagination. So home textile comes under product and interior photography. It has its own genre. It lies between these two genre of photography, which is very popular, which is product and interior. Product is typically when the subject is kept on a table and shot, which is also called as a tabletop photography. And interior is more like a space, or mood oriented images, where the space is and the mood need to be captured. So home textile is in between. Basically, it is not a simple product. If you, so it need to be draped well, it need to be shot well with a proper interior. So here and the lighting is also important. It need to do justice with the product as well as the interior. It need to be have a nice balance between the product and interior. And one more element, which is perspective, is also important, where vertical lines are vertical, horizontals are horizontals, so that they don't create distraction to the product or for the images. Coming to some styles, I'm just touching basic styles of home textiles more in detail. I think Nidhi will guide us about the different kind of themes and how they are achieved. So I'm putting from photography angle this rustic theme. Generally, a lot of people nowadays, they want images against a rustic background, because they give a very different feel as compared to regular. Earlier, what we have seen, these are all modern settings and all. So this has its own flavor, this has its own taste, and this, to break from there, these are like a rustic backdrop, which is also in fashion. Unnatural light also plays a very important role here, and it need to be tamed well, so that it creates a drama. Natural lights is like a flat light, but need to see from where it is coming, how the product is being placed, so that it creates a drama, and product is also visible. Both is very important, as it's not like a drama you create and the product has been lost. This is another example where the classic example basically for a sheer curtain. If you see a sheer curtain, it's very difficult for any photographer to shoot, because the product is very translucent. The detail of the sheer is important, as well as the detail of the interior is important. So to balancing the light between this product, which is a sheer product which adds warmth to the whole setting, we cannot avoid, because it's a part of the collection, and need to be shot well, so that it is the design is visible. If you see on the top side of the sheer, you can see the design, and on the bottom side you can see the feel, the transparency of the sheer fabrics. And the angle is also important, where all the products are being composed well, like from carpet to the sofa to the curtain, and so that the whole collection is properly visible. In this two images, I wanted to show you the depth of field plays a very important role. A photographer need to understand the layout of the products. Here, on the left side, if you see, the product has been layered at a different distance. So all the products need to be visible well. So the depth of field need to be kept in such a way that all the layers of the products are visible properly. On the right hand side, when you see the product is very complex product. If need to be focused, you need a very shallow depth of field, so that it doesn't mix up with the background. Here, the slides I've added a bit to show the lighting effect and all. So lights plays a very important role when we shoot in interiors, where the whole interior is need to be lit properly. And this lighting is not a natural lighting. This is imitated. We have created this lighting. This is a setup shot, where there is nothing in the background, where we have created such a huge, like you can say, like 10 feet of lighting system, which creates an even lighting throughout the image, and it give you a very daylight kind of a feel. And in post, obviously, we have added green to add further depth in the photograph. So coming to the next style, which is royal style, which is also very much required. People wants to show luxury, royal, rich, which can be bought with the interior setting. I guess we'll get Nidhi involved later on this images, so she can put more light on this. Here the composition is important, though the whole setting is very chaos. Means it's a busy thing, and all the product need to be placed very well, so that it's been focused well, and the props are there, but they are there only, not becoming the hero of the shot. These are the another angles of the same setup, are some close-up shots which shows detail of the fabrics and the products. Here, this is a studio setup, but we have to imitate some natural light, because this is a natural light setup we wanted to show. So imitating a natural light is very difficult, because it is not a hard light and it is not a soft light. It is in between hard and soft, depend on what is there in the outside, because it's not a direct sunlight which is hitting always in the house. It is like a bounce light which bounces from a building opposite to a window. So the quality of light changes as the interiors and all. So this is where we imitated natural light with electronic strobes. And here also in interior lighting, we have kept it a very different, very mood lighting and all, as if like there is a tungsten bulb which is lighting up the whole scene. Coming further ahead to home textile photography is like adding a human element to it. It's always good when we see human element in the picture, because we connect to the product, we connect to the image. So here this series is about adding human elements, basically models. Uh, so it gives a liveliness to the whole picture. The whole image looks more lively. It's livable space which can be portrayed. Same thing here also, where when we put a model or a human element, it's very important so to keep the main hero, the upholstery or the home textile, as a hero. And that's the reason the placement of the human or the model is on the offside of the whole image, so that doesn't grab the complete attention, and they are as a prop in the image. On the right side, we always show a texture, a very close up detailed shot of a picture where the fabric can be felt without in actual. These are another shot of the same series. We always see that the model should be there, but not too strongly. So that's the reason we always keep models eye contact of the camera, because the moment they have eye contact with the camera, then the image becomes stronger with the model and weaker with the product. So we strike a right balance between the the humans and the main hero or the product. Here another story, what we have created with human element. We give some roles basically to the human element, as she is a traveler basically looking through the films and all. Here we have, when we thought she's a traveler, we need a world map, so that was not there actually in the shoot. Then we have done the post production, we have added a world map on that. And a nice morphing on the left side of the window looks nice. It gives a nice architecture. There's another series of the same images. Again, we see that the model doesn't face to the camera. They get involved in the product or the interior, so that the whole picture looks like it's a product oriented picture and not model oriented picture. Now coming to the other products of home photography, which are wallpapers, carpets. Let's see. So this is a short, basically for wallpaper, where it's a very graphical layout where there is no furniture and only human element with the wallpaper is being shown. So there is only two elements here, the wallpaper and human element. Here, which is another product for home textile, which is carpet. Here the camera angle is very important, where where the product is shown very well. We have to take count of there should be lifestyle also, and the same time the product should be visible. So so the surrounding or the other textiles are being muted, or there is no print or texture in it. They are there just to support the main hero, like a supporting hero. Another one more element of home textile, which is bath linen, which is equally important. And this is a very this is one of the difficult subject to shoot, because here the color and texture both are important. And in the photography language, color and texture has needs a very different kind of a lighting. So it need to have a nice balance between the color and texture, so that both are in win-win situation. Otherwise, most of the time, yeah, the people they do a flat lighting and they achieve the perfect color of the textile, but then the texture has been lost. Or in getting a lot of texture, putting a lot of hard light, the color has been lost. So there should be a nice balance of a texture and color, so that the product is emphasized well. Here is one home decor shot, which is also a part of home photography, where the exposure is very important. The focal length of the lens is important, which on the right side you see an actual bokeh effect. It's not a Photoshop, it's an actual which has been out of focus. the bouquet effect has been achieved. So I guess most of the home product I have been covered. So thank you. I guess we'll have some questions. I'll be happy to answer once we are through with the presentation. I'll invite Nidhi to continue our presentation. Yes, Nidhi, you can start your presentation.
Hello everybody. It's really nice to be talking to you all. I'm assuming most of you are students, and I'm. There are NIFT has been a wonderful experience, and I must say, as students, you should make the best use of the platform and the experimentations and a lot of things which you can do, because once you enter into this work scenario, then whatever experimentations you have, you would have a client to say something, or maybe there might be some expense to whatever you want to do. So I think this is the best time to just go all out and do whatever you like to experiment. So I just move to my presentation. Uh, so I think Rajiv gave some very good insights on, how light and shadow are very important in a shot, and how perspectives and as per the change of the kind of projects, the style of shooting changes, how the emphasis changes. I'll take you through certain examples where you can know more about the styling aspect of it. So first of all, I would just like to tell you the elaborate on the word which is there. People, whoever is less aware about it. So I'd just like to read out this, because I've tried to cover most part of it. So what is home styling for photography? Home styling for photography is an art of highlighting the features of the product or subject to be shot in camera frame through compositions, right? The objective of the image which is created, like for all the images which you saw of Rajiv, is to present the aesthetics of the product or subject as per the requirements of brand, and to connect well with their clientele. Okay, so yeah. So I just tell you that what kind of projects I do and what kind of subjects I deal with every now and then. So one is textiles or soft furnishings, which you also saw in a lot of few of the projects are common also with Rajiv. So you saw some pictures of that. And then furniture brands, they also require a stylist to set the whole image with the photographer. Then there are decor products, for example, lighting and vases and all of all the things other than the above two. Then interiors for interior magazines, architects, interior designers. This is actually when for magazines, when you have to cover a interior of an existing space. So designing and doing the architecture is one thing, but when you have to capture in a camera, you have to do certain compositions so that the shot comes very nice. So for that, this is also a major area where I work in. And then comes the style looks for the interior magazines. For example, there are various looks which we create in I have worked with beautifulhomes.com a lot, and so for them we used to create a whole total look like bohemian, industrial, and any kind of story, seasonal and these things, because in a magazine it also works season wise, festivity wise, so catering to all of that. So for that also set design and all of that used to happen. So just to give you an outline that what exactly happens as a stylist, what roles you have to cover during the shoot. So one is before the shoot, and one is the one is on the shoot day. So before the shoot, obviously first you'll have to have complete understanding of the client's brief. What are they looking for? How do they want to present their product? What kind of story they want the product to say? There are some, what kind of clientele is there which they are targeting for, because if it's a very mass clientele, then your aesthetics differ for that. If it's a very niche, then you have to present in a different way. So the basic thing is it has to connect to the people for which the image is done. So, and then the second is the understanding of budget and time, and that's very important, because depending on that, it affects what kind of ideation you do and what kind of costing you give. Because if there is less budget, then you can't go all out and do those fancy shots and do a lot of things. And if there's less timeline, you know how much you have the time. So these are very important aspects before going into a big project. And then comes once the understanding is there, we are on the same page, then the design process starts, like what are the ideas, set design. And then it's not that it just happens in one go. Sometimes there's a lot of back and forth of what the client is looking for. So there are approvals, feedbacks, again working on them, going back to them, so like that. So then once all of that is done, then discussing with the photographer is also very important, because if I have to make a curtain fly in the sky or do something like that, so and the budget is only to shoot in a studio or something, and we have these short heighted walls and something like that. So the photographer informs about the feasibility of the shot, what kind of light I have decided to get a very soft image, soft lighting, but it's monsoon time or something like that. So lot of technicalities are there, which only the photographer can give insights on. Then after the whole thing is there, that yes, we are ready with this and we can do this, and everything there is feasible, then the production work starts, in which the coordination with the carpenter, that how the set will giving them whole direction, that how it will happen, dimension, etc. And then going for sourcing visits, that the products, whatever themes are decided, then going for that and sourcing them. Yeah, so that part, and tailoring, upholstering, whatever is the requirement of the shoot, all the operational work for that. Then comes the shoot day. And in the shoot day, obviously all is set, everything is there, things are already happening. Then, but when the shot is happening, there are a lot of edits required. Like there's one frame set. I'll take you more in detail. I have a case study to tell you where I'll talk more about it. But on the shoot day, it's mostly just sitting in front of the camera and with the photographer, and just seeing what is looking good, what is looking bad, like that, just editing on that. Yes, because once it is done, you can't go back and shoot again. So then, yeah, so this I wanted to say that what are the questions one should ask oneself before presenting any idea for a shot. So one thing is you should be very clear about what is your subject, what are you shooting for. Is it for those line of subjects I told you? One is the textiles, furniture, what exactly you are, so which should be the hero in the image. Because once you know that where the emphasis should be. It should not be that the product is lost in between the picture. So that clarity, number one, should be there. And second is what impact, which should be what impact you want to give with the picture. Because that's very important, because it should even the client has certain brief in mind for that, so it has to be correlated with that. And you yourself also, like doing one work, you should be sure of what you want to say with that image, right? Then I will just give you some core trends which I have listed myself, which I practically experienced, and I have just categorized them on my own. So let me take you through that. So one which I may use quite often is abstract. This is in fact one of the common projects with Rajiv. So where we have placed it very abstractly, like it is not a very traditional way of placing a curtain. Obviously, it is just lying on the floor like that. But the intention was to show the the silkiness of the fabric, the luster which is there, the grandness which is there, and obviously the whole set is already like that. And keeping it in the foreground, And when you scroll an image and this comes in between, then obviously you might stop a little bit thinking what is it. So that impact is trying to be there. So then second one, which is also, which is very much there now because of Instagram and all these things, that lived in effect. So it looks like someone just stepped out of this. You might have seen certain shots like the bed is crumpled, the table is, the tray is there, and all of that. Rajiv also showed some pictures like that. So those are lived in shots, and which have to be little cozy. So what trick I usually apply here, that I don't give a very empty space in such shots, because when you give a very empty space in a shot, then it starts looking like a stage and it looks like a set. So for these kind of shots, it's very important. It's a very cozy shot, and you should have certain elements which look very lifestyle and are of daily use. For example, here it had to be a very European style interior, and I wanted to look it like a very morning breakfast table kind of a setting. So yeah, that's there. So the other one which I would like to say is the minimalistic thing. So here, if you see that I've used very limited elements. This is one of the shots for beautiful homes. Very minimal elements, and but still trying to create that effect of a calm place. So if you see here, the details which are there is in the material. So if you see the natural wood finish which is there, the jute which is there, and so much white space is there, and the greens are there. So there are limited elements, but these elements have certain detail to it which give the impact, but still there's very much peace in that. So small quantity but lot of quality. That kind of approach, I would say, is there in minimalistic. Okay. Then quirkiness and typical themes, like having fun in the shot, right? So for example, if you see, you might have seen a lot of tropical theme images and these things, but this was an interesting one where the wallpaper was also quite different, having those cactuses also, and that quirky man in the ocean, and things, and it could have been a very busy shot, but it has been broken down with the white bed sheet which is there. So it's quite, if you see one by one each element, you might feel like, oh god, so much is there. But that balance and quirkiness, so that kind of and I work in this zone a lot. If you, yeah. So then there is this mood strong approach which I would like to mention. So for example, so when you see such images, you notice the elements quite like little later, but you get that vibe very soon. So for example, if you see this shot which was done was for a space for beautiful homes are done. So here I wanted to create a bedroom space where you could disconnect from everything, and no patterns, no prints, no graphics, only textures, only natural elements, and lot of whites, so that you can have a very calm nature, close to nature kind of a vibe in that space. So this, particularly this image, is a very more strong image, which is, even if you see that that fabric hint which is there on the side, it is actually the photo is taken through that, so you see that white thing going on. So yeah, so that. And then I mentioned before about some interior shots for architects and interior designers. This one is the home of Krishna Mehta. So there we had to cover the whole interior of that. So capturing the architectural details of such space is very good, because in that way, the even whoever has designed the space, they can also use it as a picture to highlight their profile, like what they have done. So even if you see that there's certain kind of curiosity in the picture, if you see that there's a little nook which is visible on the right, so there's a little surprise factor also in this image. So so basically the main thumb rule here is to capture the architectural details, and having right perspectives, and leaving some kind of curiosity in terms of interior, that something is going on in that side. So that kind of element. Now I'll tell you a detailed case study of one of the shoot I've done with Rajiv only. So this was so it started with a client's brief, obviously. So what we had received were the some swatches of the fabric of the collection which they were to launch, and they had given us some supporting images. So this was one of the images where they were saying they wanted to have a very ornate, very royal kind of setting, and it has to have that jewel kind of look, so that whatever they had designed, it should look nice with that, and sophisticated, luxurious, and I've written down that. Then after that, as I told you before, then goes the whole detailing of the shot, that what will be the set, or what kind of materials we'll use, and reference images of like how you see on the right side, that how will we balance the color, etc. So then that goes for approval, then back and forth for that, and finally we start off with everything. Then once everything is finalized, we go to certain places where we get these rental props for shooting. And then for this, if you see, they wanted a very ornate and this thing, but we went for a very a midway path between both, because if you go with very ornate set and it's so loud that you can't even spot your product, then it is not the right thing to do. So we kept it muted tones with a little distress effect of metallic shade on the moldings, if you see. So with that, we were able to. And sometimes, client is also not very clear that what they want. They just like some pictures and they share. But it is as a stylist, it's the responsibility to make them aware that how they would achieve what they want, with keeping in mind that their product detail is not lost. So these are some pictures of the process, and behind the scenes kind of a picture. If you see like how the production works, there is said this is the studio, and how the panels are installed, and you see some shot. You would have seen some beautiful shots of Rajiv, but see how outside in the studio it looks, and how it comes in the camera. So that's the difference. And see the upholstery happening on the right side. Yeah, and these are some pictures, some more behind the scene pictures. So on the left side, you see the how we keep seeing the preview in the laptop, and the camera lens, and how we keep setting. So we have to ensure that within this rectangle everything goes right. Whatever is happening outside is not a concern, but the day of shoot, all we are doing is everything is right inside this rectangle. So yeah, so that is there. So yeah, this was the final one of the final images of this thing. You can see a beautiful outdoor also happening, courtesy Rajiv, and yes, and then some more shots of that shoot only. Then again, one more collection was there in that same set, same shoot day, where they had a blue and white kind of a combination jacquard fabrics. You can see some swatches which we had received from them. So yeah, this had to be a little more fresh, and because of indigo and white, it had to have that freshness which it requires in a European style kind of sense. So yeah, this is one of the sheets of the set design details, that what kind of fireplace, and this is there. Obviously the studio doesn't have those kind of height which those are there in such European homes, but we had to some little bit of cheating you have to do in terms of getting the right thing. So if you show a little cropped version of such things, then those details somebody can overlook if the shot is good. So now I'll show you this image, which I think Rajiv will tell you a little bit about this. Rajiv?
Yeah, regarding I'll add something regarding the post-production point of view also. like while shooting this image, or while doing homework for this image, we know the size of the set and all, but we don't know the what size of props which we may get it, because it depends totally on luck or on that day what props is available. So we got a big table, a huge table, which was difficult to fit into this 12 feet by 12 feet wall, and we wanted to add some extension, and without an extension it will be difficult to fit this whole dining set in that specific wall. So quickly we thought of adding something, but it need to be added so well, this like similar color wall need to be added, or something which is quick fix kind of thing, which we know, which we can fix it in later in the system. Because I knew from the lighting and from the set point of view, I know what the area is possible to fix in post production. So that way the set was created somehow, because otherwise no one would allow this short wall on the right side to be fitted and all, because it's not of that same color. There is a two different white is there, and on the top also there is a gap on the left side also. So after, because I know the whole process of the post production also, so it is easier to uh, do the adjustment during the shoot and all. This was the adjustment and which we completed. Let's see Nidhi the final shot of the same.
Yeah. Yeah. So you
So
see
this
the
is the
difference?
final shot.
Yeah.
Very difficult to find out whether there was no wall or the extension wall has been extended kind of thing. Yeah, Nidhi, you can
Yeah.
continue.
So, like, as a stylist, one has to also visualize this, right? Because if the client will see this, he'll will not be able to visualize what you can visualize. So, yeah. So I just like to conclude, with this one, that what does a well-styled and photographed image consist of? So I think number one is it should abide by all the principles of design, which I'm sure you must be aware of, like balance, harmony, all of that. And then once you follow that, then the emphasis on the subject is always right. And second is that when you look at an image, you must not be able to tell if the photography was better or the styling is better, because they have to work hand in hand. Because the image, as an outcome, the image has to be, just the best. So yeah, that point. And the last one is the image should be self-explanatory. That's, I think, explains it all, right? So yeah, that was about it. And tell me, Rajiv, do we have the time?
Yeah, uh, Javed sir, what we have a time that we can run a couple of videos which will show behind the scene how we shoot and what preparation is required.
Yeah, we have time.
So okay,
So you are starting, Rajiv, or should I?
I'll okay. You can share a video, Nidhi, and
So
then I will share it.
the audio will come, right?
Let's see. It's okay if in case there is technical issue.
Can you see?
Yeah, I can see your screen. Can please run the video.
So this is just to show you all the corners of the space, so that video will give a better.
No, we cannot see a video, Nidhi.
You cannot see?
No, you need to share that specific screen when you use.
Just one second.
Yeah.
Can you see?
No, still not. Please share that specific screen if you.
Can you see?
No, Nidhi, we cannot see the video. We cannot see the video.
Share from the same screen which you are working, no? Same screen you share, just share the video.
Okay, I thought it's playing.
We can only hear sound.
1 second, I think I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming.
You can run it.
It's not playing.
Yeah, it's playing. It's playing.
All right, I'll stop the share, Rajiv. You can.
Yeah, sure. My screen is visible?
Yes.
Yes. Should I can share one more video?
Videos? No more videos?
Yeah, we have one we have with the studio basically.
Thus we can see that.
Yeah, sure. There's one more video I'll have. Yes. So I guess people could understand what goes behind the shoot, what is a setup is required to make the pictures and all. There's a lot of homework is required. So I guess let's go to question and answers. If anyone has questions, we can definitely love to answer them. Hello.
So there are no comment on question and answer, but there are information on chat, and that's why they have asked a question. There are two people who have asked a question. One, Mr. Joshi is there.
Yeah.
He wanted to know shooting on site or studio, which is preferred for home textile, especially considering the constraint of the space and angle. That's the question.
Constraints of space and angle, basically. Studio is always preferable because studios gives the flexibility of moving around the camera as well the whole set, basically. Because it's easy to adjust whatever is required in terms of space in studio. Lighting is easy because it's completely under control. The whole equipments are there in the studio, and it's like we are making a room set, and if we don't want a wall for one specific shot, it's easy to remove in that shot. But on location, it is very difficult. That's the reason number of shots we pull out less on location, because there are a lot of adjustment which is required as per, because it is not as per exact requirement and all. We have to adjust. There's no location which is the best or perfect location for a photo shoot. We have to modify those locations and all, and then we have to carry those many equipments and material to fix those places and all. So definitely studio is anytime preferred location, but the studios are sometimes expensive because everything need to be made and all from scratch. So the budget of the shoot goes high when we shoot in a studio as compared to a ready-made location. Ready-made locations have say everything is set, some few things need to be changed, but the look and feel is very difficult unless it fits well to the collection. So that
Yeah.
is, I guess.
We have second question from Mr. Mohadesa Tegani.
Yeah.
He's asking what are some of the software to showcase or present the design of home furnishing that seem professional. You want to know some professional softwares.
Softwares for showcasing a design, I guess Keynote of iMac or PPT of PC. These are the presenting, or they can create something on Photoshop, the background and all. They can import it. So these are the presenting softwares. If to work on that, this is something different. Like we work definitely on different softwares, Camera Raw, Capture One, and Adobe Photoshop for various things and all. For presenting, I think we generally use Keynote.
That is, there were only two questions, and there are words of appreciation from many people. Sudha Denga ma'am has appreciated your work. Kislea ma'am has appreciated work, and one Mr. Ashok, he would like to contact you. We like your work. He would like to contact for the some work, and yeah, there was a lot of people have appreciating the work. Okay, can we? So we can go to vote of thanks now.
Yeah, sure. In case any queries from your side or something like.
Anybody want to ask questions? You can raise the question now.
Not very clear, Javed.
Yeah, question. There is a question on Miss Swati Vyas. Can you say some tips for textile design students?
Regarding design part or regarding photography part?
Yeah, photo shoot of their project, final project, graduation project. They come back with the product and they want to shoot in the at NEFT. So what do you suggest? What is the best way to
for
shoot
their final project?
Yes, final project on the graduation project. They come back with the product, lot of 2-3 collections, and they want to shoot. You must have gone through the same process when you were graduating, right?
Yeah, I think first of all, I'd like to just give you one example of me myself being a textile designer, and I also work. I now work with a lot of interior projects also. So textile is like one aspect of the whole interior, which I do. So, but if you keep that in mind since beginning, that textile, the textile is a product, and I have to, create the whole look for it so that people can understand that why to buy it. So when you're presenting in your graduation show or this kind of presentation, you should also think about how it comes together as a look. because I think we always worked so much on the individual design. When I came to the industry, I could understand that it's not very important that the textile, the soft furnishing collection has to have a lot of graphics and lot of patterns. Then only it is standing out. Sometimes even a plain linen fabric, also becomes a very crucial part of the whole look. So but that will come alive only if you think of the whole look together, not only or there is one more way that you make it very graphical and do a lot of patterns, and then you keep other things minimal to balance it out. But I would say when you're presenting in your final show, then you should always think together as a look. And obviously it has to be the key hero in that picture. But when you think of the whole look, then it can be very useful for the clientele also, which you are targeting for.
Regarding photography point of view, I can suggest something. Like go for a smaller shots as compared to bigger shots. Bigger shots are more difficult or more challenging to decor them and all. So once your fine collections are through, for example, if you made a bed linen or table linen, so if you get a bed, then it's great and fine. Otherwise, you can lay them on the floor, put some cushion nicely in a graphical way, take a top shot. Last video what you've seen, that was a top shot of a bed where bed was hardly visible. It's only so go for a tighter shots. It's easy to manage as compared to bigger shots.
And they also want to know if there is the product of classroom project. That is also same.
Yeah, for the classroom project, it's so they can shoot in the classroom, or they can do a small corner or setting kind of thing, and next to the window where the natural light is there. Without light, also it is possible to shoot. The few collections which we have shot is like and without artificial lights. And the thing is, if you deck them properly, decor them properly, you have a proper size filling of a cushion cover, some props and all as per the theme and all, and have a nice cozy small shots that's look better than compared to a bigger shots making a curtain hangs and some interiors which interior is not fixed like proper. Then there's no point of that showing the complete curtain. It's better to show them in an abstract form or something else.
I think that's end of the question now.
Yeah, I guess we're through with the time also.
So, word of thanks. Now it is time to thank who are behind this successful event. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the director of Mumbai for all the encouragement and help in arranging this event. I am very much thankful to Rajiv and Nidhi for having agreed to join us this and share their thoughtful, true experience, and hope it will give right direction and orientation to our budding students to choose their career path in the home fashion styling. I must thank all the participants, as without them, there is no meaning of this kind of event. Hence, my sincere thanks to all. I would like to thank Mr. Nitin Salve for much needed IT support in order to execute this event. I also like to thank to Ms. Vandana Vekhande and Mr. Vinesh Thapre for their social media support. I am also thankful to Dr. Reena Agarwal and all my NIP Mumbai colleagues. Thank you all once again. Thanks you again. Thank you all.
Thanks, Javed sir, for inviting on this platform.
Thank you so much, and thank you for everybody who's been writing such kind words.
Thanks.